I do not want to create a Netflix-like series on Modi government and its ties with Donald Trump, but Donald Trump and Modi government both do not let me get off this topic at all. There's a new episode and a far more interesting episode as compared to the previous one. So here you are looking at probably a new season of hostilities. So here is the South Asian plus American Netflix co-production being aired all across the world and being watched with greater interest than Georgia and Ginny series. Donald Trump has shot a statement. A statement is in front of you right now. But we need to do some textual reading of it, just to put things in context. After having imposed 25% tariff, which is an add-on tariff, onto India, and also threatening them with additional penalty because they are buying Russian cheap oil and also buying military equipment from Russia, Trump has now upped the ante by saying that India is not only buying, so he's building on to his previous justification for imposing higher tariffs on India, relatively speaking. He is putting a new case out. India is not only buying massive amounts of Russian oil. This is Trump talk. They are then, for much of the oil purchased, selling it on the open market for big profits. So massive oil being purchased, big profits being made. It's not as if that Trump and Trump's information czars did not know about it. Obviously, America is nothing if not a data-driven society. These people harness tons of data all the time, so they know their stats. Trump is not the kind of guy who looks like data-driven, but he's backed by a massive bureaucracy, to use Trump's modifier, massive, in this context, to give his statements the backing of empirical evidence. So they already have the evidence with them, but Trump is making it sound as if there's a new discovery that India is buying massive amounts of Russian oil and making tons of or big profits for it. And then he goes on to pass a moral judgment. India doesn't care about European lives. Remember that. It is now the white man talking about European lives not mattering to the Indian policymakers, who obviously are not white. They don't care how many people in Ukraine are being killed by the Russian war machine. So he's making Delhi look like a complicit in the mass murder in their term that is happening in Ukraine and being carried out by the Putin war machine. Because of this, I will be substantially raising now another modifier for you, adverb for you, substantially raising. You don't know how substantial tariff is going to look like. Will it be 10% more than 25%? Will it be probably 50%? Or India will be getting a treatment which will fall into its own category, not comparable to Brazil, but not comparable to higher tariffs either. That leaves the markets guessing. That leaves policy planners guessing. That leaves exporters guessing. Because of this, I will be substantially raising the tariff paid by India to the USA. And of course, his usual sentence with the 3 exclamation marks. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. India's retort, eulogized and hailed by the likes of Barkha Dutt, that you have stood your ground and you are talking back to the Americans, and how dare they coach us and treat us as if we were infants, is not really a hard and punch back. It is more like an explanatory kind of a statement, an explanation of why we are buying the oil and when we started to buy the oil and who else is buying the oil, and you are also doing trade with Russia, and the Europeans are also buying stuff from Russia and selling stuff to Russia. Interestingly, the official statement also has brought in the European Union. So I'm amazed why the Indians are expanding the purview of this conflagration with the USA by bringing in the European Union. If you read the first line, India has been targeted by the United States and European Union. The word is being used here is targeted. It is not misinterpretation. It is not misunderstanding. When you say target, that means there's a deliberate policy to single out India. And then, of course, there's a whole justification why they are buying it, when they started to buy it, and what is the purpose of buying this cheap oil. So when India starts to explain why they are doing it, it makes it very hard for them to then climb back from this position. I mean, you can take a position that, yes, you have said this and this is what our response is, but once you begin to justify your response, it'll be very difficult for you to climb down from it. So Americans are not going to climb down from the position that they have taken, that you are the culprit. You are the ones who are funding and bankrolling the war in Ukraine in an indirect way, by buying Russian oil, giving them billions of dollars worth of money, which they are using to expand and hold the ground of war and in Ukraine. Americans are not going to climb down from that position, but India, by explaining its position and grounding it to issues of national interest, grounding it to issues of trade compulsions, grounding it to issue of their own interest being serviced by this policy, have also taken a firm position. So you're looking at a fairly combustible situation where Donald Trump is hammering down at India, making it look like the bad guy on the international scene, complicit in Ukrainian war, not caring two hoots about European lives being lost, and pushing Putin to make further strategic inroads into European heartland. So it really is the villain of the piece. And Indians have found a new reason to create a nationalistic fervor around this idea that India is being singled out, India is being targeted. For now, Congress seems to be enjoying the moment, but there is also a streak of nationalism that is creeping into Congress take as well. The demand is for Modi to take a stand against Trump. Now, Modi is trembling to take Trump's name. He's balking at the idea of directly speaking to Trump through his social media. He's not expanding his 56-inch wide chest. He is not wagging his finger. He is not waving his fist. He is not threatening. He has just gone quiet, which is the worst policy that you could adopt. Of course, they're talking through their official channels, but here is Trump throwing boulders down at Modi, who has been trying to duck and somehow dodge these boulders, but now these boulders have started to run him over political. So sooner rather than later, Modi will have to find the courage to speak out, and that will probably lay the foundation of another season of geostrategic Netflix between Modi and Trump. India had wished that Trump had said all these things, all these bad things, talk of sanctions, trolling, every day a statement about how bad you guys are, making you look like the villain of the piece, painting you in all colors black. Indians wish that Trump had done all of this, not to them, but to Pakistan. But really, as history proves, you may start a game, but in the end, you do not control the dynamics of the game, because it's a dangerous game. You wanted South Asian countries to be singled out and external powers to be used as tools to humiliate them. Well, there is an external power that is using itself as a tool, policy tool, to humiliate a South Asian country. But in this case, it doesn't happen to be Pakistan, it doesn't happen to be Sri Lanka, it doesn't happen to be even Afghanistan, it doesn't even happen to be Bangladesh or Nepal or Maldives. It happens to be Modi's India. So what goes around comes around with additional tariffs.